Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel, and here we are again with a new video. And today we are going to study the English of class 9, and the book is Beehive. We are going to read chapter number 3, that is The Little Girl, and the writer of this story is Catherine Mansfield. So before we get started, we should have a glimpse of this story. So before I say something, I would like to request you that if you haven't subscribed our channel yet, please do subscribe our channel and watch the video till end. So now, let's read the story and find out what this story is all about. So as soon as you turn on the page, you find out that there is a little description given at the top of the page. So let's read and find out. Do you feel you know your parents better now than when you were much younger? Perhaps you now understand the reason for some of their action that used to upset you earlier. So now here the author wants to make you understand that in your childhood, sometimes you felt very angry on some of the decisions of your parents. That time you did not understand why they are scolding you or why they are forbidding you for doing something, why they are stopping you for something or for some reasons. That time we were a child and we do not understand what is the reason, what is the good behind that. But now as we have grown up, we understand a little bit that if they used to scold us, if they used to forbid us, that was for our own good. So this is the thing author wants to highlight here. The second line, it says, there's a story about a little girl whose feelings for her father changed from fear to understanding will probably find an echo in every home. So this is a common story and it used to happen in each and every home. When we are a child, we don't understand if our parents used to forbid us for something or used to scold us for something, or sometimes they beat us casually, so we don't understand. That time we get angry and we don't understand what is the logic, what is the reason behind it. But now when we grow up, gradually we understand the reason, gradually we understand the concern of our parents which they had that time. So this was the description of this story at the beginning of this page, and now we are going to read the story and we will understand the whole concept, the whole paragraph of this story. To the little girl, he was a figure to be feared and avoided. Every morning before going to work, he came into her room and gave her a casual kiss, to which she responded with "Goodbye, father." And oh, there was a glad sense of relief when she heard the noise of the carriage growing fainter and fainter down the long road. So there is a girl who is very much afraid, very much frightened with his father. Why? We will find out further as we read the story. And on the other hand, his father, he is very casual. So whenever he goes out to work or whenever he goes to the office, he used to give a casual kiss to his daughter, and in reply his daughter used to say "Goodbye, father." But the girl is very much scared and very much frightened with her father. So finally, when she hears the sound of the carriage, here carriage, that means a kind of van, you can say, that is being pulled by horse. In ancient times or old times, there is a kind of it is a kind of a carriage, or you can say it is a kind of vehicle that is being drawn by horse. So when she hears the sound that is going slower along the road, so she takes a deep breath and she feels very much relieved. In the evening, when he came home, She stood near the staircase and heard his loud voice in the hall. Bring my tea into my drawing room. Hasn't the paper come yet? Mother, go and see if my paper's out there and bring my slippers. So, the little girl has a grandmother also, and when her father comes back home, he says or he calls for tea. He says, bring my tea in the drawing room, I'm waiting out there. And then he calls his mother, that means the girl's grandmother and the father's mother. Go and see if the newspaper has come or not and bring my slippers. Kezia, mother would call to her. So you should take a note that Kezia is the girl around which the whole story revolves. So the name of the girl is, the name of the main character is Kezia. This is the little girl. So this is the little girl and the whole story revolves around her only. Kezia, mother would call to her, if you are a good girl, you can come down and take off father's boot. Slowly the girl would slip down the stairs, more slowly still across the hall, and push open the drawing room door. So now the grandmother calls Kezia that Kezia, if you are a good girl, you should obey the instruction of your father. Come down the stairs and go to your father and pull out the boots. On the other hand, Kezia is very much scared, she is very much frightened. So she comes down the stairs very gradually, very slowly, and then she pushes the door of the drawing room and enters inside the room where the father is sitting. By that time, he had his spectacles on and looked at her over them in a way that was terrifying to the little girl. Well, Kezia, hurry up and pull off these boots and take them outside. Have you been a good girl today? So now, by this time, father is wearing the spectacles and he is waiting for the newspaper, and he calls Kezia that, come Kezia, come my daughter, pull out my boots and keep them outside the room. And ask her, Kezia, have you been a good girl today? That means today, have you done some good work or not? Father is asking Kezia. On the other hand, Kezia is very much scared. What she says in the reply? I don't know, father. So here the voice is a little bit fumbling because of the fear, because of the scared. You don't know? If you stutter like that, mother will have to take you to the doctor. So now father says, if you fumble, if you stutter like this, your mother will take you to a doctor. But this is not the reality. Kezia stutters only when she talks to her father. When she talks to other people, she does not stutter at all. She never stuttered with other people, had quite given it up, but only with father, because then she was trying so hard to say the words properly. Because of the fear, because she was so much frightened, so her mouth started fumbling, her tongue started stuttering. What's the matter? What are you looking so grudged about? Mother, I wish you taught this child not to appear on the brink of suicide. Here, Kezia, carry my teacup back to the table carefully. So now the grandmother comes. Kezia's grandmother comes and asks, what is the matter? What are you looking so grudged about? So now, father is saying to mother, Mother, I wish you taught this child not to appear on the brink of suicide. So he basically, father tells her mother, that means Kezia's grandmother, that to behave normally, that teach Kezia something so that she can behave normally. Why is she doing like she is stuttering or like she is very much scared? What is the matter? And then finally he says, here Kezia, carry my teacup back to the table carefully. He was so big, his hands and his neck, especially his mouth, when he yawned, thinking about him alone was like thinking about a giant. So, in Kezia's imagination, the father is a bit fat, is a bit healthy. So whenever she thinks about his father, she thinks of a giant. On Sunday afternoons, grandmother sent her down to the drawing room to have a nice talk with father and mother. But the little girl always found mother reading and father stretched out on the sofa, his handkerchief on his face and his feet on one of the best cushions, sleeping soundly and snoring. So on Sundays when everybody is at home, the grandmother advises Kezia to go talk to your father, have a nice talk and try to fill the gap between you and your father. Have a nice conversation. But whenever Kezia tries to have some talk with the father or with the mother, what she finds that mother is all the time reading and father is all the time sleeping on the sofa, keeping a handkerchief, a hanky on his face and a cushion at his feet. So she's not getting proper time or accommodating so that she can talk with her parents. Now she sat on a stool, gravely watched him until he woke and stretched and asked the time. Then looked at her. Don't stare so, Kezia, you look like a little brown owl. So the tuning between Kezia and her father is not so much good. So when the father wakes up, what he says, Kezia, don't look at me like that. What is the time by your watch? And by the way, you are looking like an owl. The way you are staring, the way you are looking at me, you are just looking like an owl. One day when she was kept indoors with a cold, her grandmother told her his father's birthday was next week and suggested she should make him a pin cushion for a gift out of a beautiful pieces of yellow silk. So Kezia's father's birthday was about to come and grandmother advised that Kezia, why don't you make a cushion, why don't you make a pillow and gift it on the birthday of your father. It would be a nice idea and perhaps it will fill the gap between you and your father. Kezia also liked the idea, so she started preparing for the cushion. Laboriously, with a double cotton, the little girl stitched 3 sides, but what to fill it with? That was a question. The grandmother was out in the garden and she wandered into mother's bedroom to look for scraps. On the bed table, she discovered a great many sheets of fine paper. Gathered them up, tore them into tiny pieces and stuffed her case, then sewed up the 4th side. So you can imagine how difficult it would be for a little girl for almost 5 to 7 years to find a piece of cloth and then to stitch it from all 3 sides to make a pillow. But Kezia did very hard work and she stitched the cushion, the pillow, all from 3 sides. Now the question is what to fill inside. So she was looking here and there, but she did not find her grandmother. When she entered the father's bedroom, what she finds that there are some bunch of papers, pile of papers that kept on the table or somewhere in the room. And she got an idea. She picked all the paper and she tore it up and filled it in the cushion and stitched it from the 4th side. Now the cushion is ready. That night there was a hue and cry in the house. Father's great speech for the Port Authority had been lost. Rooms were searched, servants questioned. Finally mother came into Kezia's room. Kezia, I suppose you didn't see some papers on the table in your room. Oh yes, she said. I tore them up for my surprise. What? Screamed mother. Come straight down to the dining room this instant. And she was dragged down to where father was pacing to and fro, hands behind his back. Well, he said sharply. Mother explained. He stopped and stared at the child. Did you do that? No, she whispered. Mother, Go up to her room and fetch down the damn thing. See that the child is put to bed this instant. So now, that night, there was a huge loud and cry in the entire house. Something was missing. What was that? Actually, his father was going to deliver a speech in the board of Port Authority, and the speech was written on those papers, which Kezia tore and then filled and stuffed the cushion. So it was missing, the whole house was searching for it. And now what happened? Everybody was looking for it, including the servants, the father, mother, grandmother, every member of the family. On the other hand, Kezia was very happy that I have made some gift to my father and I would gift it on his birthday. So she was very relaxed and happy. Then suddenly her mother comes and asks, have you seen any paper? I kept it here somewhere in the room. She said, oh yes, I found it somewhere, but I tore it and filled in the cushion. Now her mother was very much angry. She started shouting, What have you done? Come to the drawing room right now. And she takes her to the drawing room where all the people of all the member of the house, they were sitting and searching the paper. And now her mother explained everything what happened with the paper. Now the father was as much angry that he did not say even a single word. What he said, just take this girl to her bedroom and tell her to sleep. I don't want to talk to her right now. When my mind is free, when I feel to talk, then I will go and I'll talk to her. Right now I don't want to say anything. Just tell her to go to her bedroom and sleep right now. Because father was very much tensed. That paper was very much important. Crying too much to explain, she lay in the shadowed room watching the evening light make a sad little pattern on the floor. Then father came into the room with a ruler in his hand. I'm going to beat you for this, he said. Oh no, no, she screamed, hiding under the bedclothes. He pulled them aside. Sit up, he ordered, and hold out your hands. You must be taught once and for all not to touch what does not belong to you. But it was for your birthday. Down came the ruler on her little pink palms. So, after some time, father came to Kezia's room and he said, today I will teach you a lesson. You should not touch all those things which do not belong to you. And before touching anything, you should take permission. You should ask. Without asking, you should not touch anything that is lying here and there. So, what is the lesson? The lesson is father was going to beat her on her palm with a ruler. But on the other hand, Kezia was very much scared, very much frightened. She tried to explain that it was not my fault. Actually, I was making a pillow, I was making a cushion for your birthday, and I stuffed the cushion with those papers. But father did not listen anything, and he just bit one stick on her palm, and the pink palm, it became right then it became red, and she started crying in pain. Hours later, when grandmother had wrapped her in a shawl and rocked her in a rocking chair, the child clung to her soft body. What did God make fathers for? She sobbed. Here's a clean hanky, darling. Blow your nose. Go to sleep, pet. You'll forget all about in the morning. I tried to explain to father, but he was too upset to listen tonight. But the child never forgot. Next time she saw him, she quickly put both hands behind her back and a red color flew into her cheeks. So this incident actually it made a very negative impact on Kezia's mind. So that night she couldn't sleep. She was crying and sobbing for the entire night when grandmother came and she wrapped her in her arms and tried to console her that okay, it's okay, just go and have a good sleep and in the morning we'll forget everything. But Kezia could not forget this. Actually it made a dark negative impact on her mind, and for the next day and onwards, whenever Kezia looked at his father, she recalls, she remembers that incident, and suddenly she keeps both the hands behind, so that she believes that father is going to beat me again. And she also said, sobbing, that grandmother, it was not my fault. Actually, I was preparing for my father's birthday and I was trying to explain it. But father was too upset that he did not listen anything and he just beat me on my palm. The McDonald's lived next door. They had 5 children. Looking through a gap in the fence, the little girl saw them playing tag in the evening, the father with the baby. Mao on his shoulders, 2 little girls hanging on his coat pockets, ran round and round the flower beds, shaking with laughter. Once she saw the boys turn the hose on him, and he tried to catch them laughing all the time. Then it was she decided there was a different sort of fathers. Suddenly one day mother became ill and she and grandmother went to hospital. The little girl was left alone in the house with Alice, the cook. That was all right in the daytime. But while Alice was putting her to bed, she grew suddenly afraid. So Kezia believed that all fathers are like for the same reason. They used to beat the children. But when suddenly one day, what she finds, there was a neighbor living next to them, and they were McDonald's. Their title was McDonald's. So they were a good family. They were having a good family. Lots of children, around 4 to 5 children were there with them, and they were all playing together. So when Kezia finds them, they're playing together and they're playing in the garden with the pipe, with the water and all the stuffs, she thinks that all fathers are not same. Some fathers are very good, very friendly. They play with the children and they do not beat the children. So everything was going well, but suddenly one day what happened? So one thing here I would like to mention, that Kezia is very much comfortable with her grandmother. So in the night also, in the daytime also, most of the time she used to spend with her grandmother. But one day what happens? Her mother becomes ill. So the grandmother is taking Kezia's mother to the hospital, and there are only 3 people in the house. The one is Kezia, other is father, and third person is the cook, that is Alice. So everything is fine in the daytime, but in the night when Kezia is going to bed, she's looking for grandmother. Why? Because she is scared in the night because of the nightmares, or she feels scared or frightened because of the dark. So she said Alice that I cannot sleep alone because I have some nightmare, or I am scared or frightened with the dark night. So now she is very much afraid actually. So what I'll do if I have a nightmare? Now Kezia is asking Alice. She asked, I often have nightmares and then Granny takes me into her bed. I can't stay in the dark. It all gets whispery. You just go to sleep, child, said Alice, pulling off her socks, and don't you scream and wake your poor pa. So Alice said, everything is fine, there is no need to be scared, you just go to bed, and don't, if you scared, if you wake up in the middle of the night, do not make noise, do not shout, do not wake your poor papa. But the same old nightmare came. So she used to have the nightmare every day, or most of the times. The butcher with a knife and a rope who come nearer and nearer, smiling that dreadful smile. When she could not move, could only stand still, crying out, Grandma, Grandma. She woke shivering to see father beside her. A candle is in hand. What is the matter? He said. So again that day also she is having the nightmare, and in nightmare she finds there is a butcher who is having a knife, a rope, and coming closer to Kezia step by step, and he is having a very dreadful or very deadly kind of a smile on his face. So Kezia could not bear this. She started shouting while she was asleep. So grandma, grandma, she was repeatedly she was shouting. So when she woke up, she finds that father is standing beside her, and she was too much scared that she was shivering all the time. So father is asking, what is the matter? Oh, a butcher, a knife, I want granny. He blew out the candle, bent down and caught up the child in his arms, carrying her along the passage to the big bedroom. A newspaper was on the bed. He put away the paper, then carefully tucked up the child. He lay down beside her, half asleep, till still, with the butcher's smile all about her, it seemed. She crept close to him, snuggled her head under his arms, held tightly to his shirt. So now father understood that if I leave Kezia here alone, might be she is scared further. So what he did, he took her in his arms and took her to his bedroom, his own bedroom, where she slept on his bed and kept Kezia just beside him. So now Kezia feels very much cozy. Kezia feels comfortable a bit, and she puts her head on father's shoulder and she feels very much relaxed. Then the dark did not matter, she lay still. Here, rub your feet against my legs and get them warm, said father. So now father makes her comfortable. Father says that if you are shivering, you are feeling cold, rub your feet against my feet and get some warmth. Tired out, he slept before the little girl. A funny feeling came over her. Poor father, not so big after all, and with no one to look after him. He was harder than grandmother, but it was a nice hardness. And every day he had to work and was too tired to be Mr. MacDonald. She had torn up all his beautiful writing. She stayed suddenly and sighed. What is the matter? Asked her father. Another dream? Oh, said the little girl. My head is on your heart. I can hear it going. What a big heart you have got, father dear. So now Kezia realizes that it's not my father's fault. Although I tore all the important papers, and my father had to suffer a lot because of that mistake. That mistake was mine, but my father had to pay for that. And on the other hand, Mr. MacDonald, who used to play and be happy with all the time with the children, he doesn't do any hard work than my father used to do every day. So basically my father is not getting proper time. By the time he comes home, he is very much tired and he takes some rest. So it is not my father's fault. He is not getting that much time so that he can spend with us. Now she realizes that my father is right at his place. So now she is getting very much cozy, very much comfortable. She is keeping her head near his father's heart and near her father's heart. And now she realizes and she hears the heartbeat of her father. So father asked, what happened? Are you still having those nightmares? She said, no, I can hear your heartbeat. You are having such a nice big heart, dear father. So now from this point onwards, they became friends. Kezia also understood that if my father used to say something, there's a reason behind that. Here the story ended. If you have any kind of doubt or any kind of question, you can write that in the comment box. Hope you enjoyed, hope you understood the paragraph, the meaning of the story. We will be back again with lots of videos. Till then, keep watching our videos, keep liking, keep sharing our videos and show us your support. And we will be back again. Till then, goodbye and stay tuned.